Rejection. The word alone feels like a blade across the skin. It cuts at your pride, your worth, your sense of belonging. You chase a dream, only to be turned away. You open your heart, only to be dismissed. You step into the arena, and the crowd looks past you as if you were invisible. That sting, whether from love, work, or ambition, can hollow a man out from the inside. But here's the truth the weak never accept. Rejection is not the end. It is the fire that tempers steel. Every man who has ever risen from obscurity, every woman who has ever claimed her place in history, has faced the wall of rejection. They were told no. They were mocked. They were denied. And instead of crumbling, they forged themselves sharper, stronger, untouchable. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Rejection is not a signal to retreat. It is the forge where your endurance, your clarity, your strength are born. You can let rejection break you, or you can wield it as the weapon that makes you unbreakable. Picture this. A man in his late 20s sits in the corner of a dimly lit cafe, rejection letter in hand. It's not the first, it's the 15th. He had sent manuscript after manuscript to publishers, pouring his soul into words he believed mattered. Each response came back the same, cold, impersonal, a knife in the chest. "We regret to inform you." His dream felt like a cruel joke. The voice inside whispered, "You're not good enough. Stop trying. This is not fiction." It was the story of countless greats. Writers like J.K. Rowling, rejected 12 times before Harry Potter was ever printed, or Jack London, who collected over 600 rejection slips before publishing his first story. Even Thomas Edison was dismissed as a fool by his teachers, told he was too stupid to learn. These men and women carried the weight of rejection that could have buried them, but instead, they turned it into their weapon. Rejection is universal. Maybe for you, it wasn't a publisher. Maybe it was the woman you thought you'd marry walking away without explanation. Maybe it was the promotion you poured yourself into, only to watch it handed to someone else. Maybe it's the silence after you dared to share your vision, and the world laughed instead of listened. The Stoic truth is this: rejection is not the world declaring you unworthy. It is the world sharpening you, burning away illusions, demanding you become something greater. Rejection. The word itself carries venom. It feels like a door slammed in your face, a cold verdict against your worth. But the Stoics saw it differently. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations writes, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What others called rejection, Marcus called a redirection of power. A locked door doesn't end the journey. It forces you to build a new path, a stronger one. Seneca, the Roman statesman, endured exile, a rejection not only from power, but from Rome itself. Yet in exile, he sharpened his pen and wrote the very letters that would echo through centuries. Seneca reminds us, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Rejection, then, is less about the external no, and more about the story you tell yourself afterward. Epictetus, born a slave, knew rejection more intimately than most. The world told him, from birth, that he had no value. Yet he forged greatness by mastering the only thing no master could touch, his mind. He taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Rejection doesn't destroy you. It exposes whether you have built your fortress within or left your gates unguarded. The Stoics strip away the illusions. They remind us that rejection is not personal. It is not a final sentence on who you are. It is data, feedback, fuel. The publisher's no is not a judgment of your soul, only a signal that you must sharpen your craft or seek another path. The woman's rejection is not the universe condemning your worth. It is an unveiling, a truth that clears the way for alignment with someone who sees you clearly. Rejection is training. Every time you are turned away, you are being hardened, your dependence on external validation weakened, your resilience strengthened. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. The sting of rejection lives in your interpretation, not in the event itself. The Stoic answer is ruthless but liberating. Stop expecting the world to crown you. Stop craving approval. Instead, transmute rejection into discipline, into power, into the silent confidence of one who no longer begs for permission. Rejection is not the enemy. It is the whetstone that sharpens your sword. Rejection will either break you or forge you. The difference lies in what you do next. Stop waiting for pity. Stop wallowing in self-doubt. Use rejection like a weapon. Here are 7 unapologetic Stoic tactics to transmute rejection into raw power. 1. Detach the ego from the event. You are not the no you received. You are not the failure. Epictetus reminds, when something happens, the only thing in your power is your attitude toward it. Separate your identity from the rejection. Treat it as data, not condemnation. 2. Reframe the no into redirection. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." A rejection is a map, not a wall. Didn't get the job. It's not the end. It asks in order to sharpen your skills or reroute toward a higher path. See rejection as re-navigation, not defeat. 3. Use pain as conditioning. Every no trains you to withstand discomfort. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Instead of recoiling, embrace the sting. Treat rejection like a sparring partner, making you tougher, faster, sharper. 4. Build inner immunity. The Stoics practice premeditatio malorum, visualizing rejection, loss, betrayal. So when it came, they were unshaken. Train your mind. Expect no before it arrives. Then when the door slams, you stand unflinching while others crumble. 5. Turn silence into power. When rejected, most beg, explain, or chase. Stop. The Stoic response is silence, cold, deliberate. Let your absence speak louder than words. By not pleading, you show you are governed by principle, not desperation. 6. Channel the fire into action. Don't brood, build. Rejection frees energy. Use it. Write the book that was turned down. Train your body harder after the relationship ends. Launch the project denied by investors. Show the world their rejection was your ignition, not your burial. 7. Make yourself unrejectable. The ultimate Stoic move. Stop depending on external validation altogether. When you no longer need their approval, rejection loses its teeth. You don't bend to be accepted. You stand firm, and those aligned will gravitate to your strength. Rejection is not a curse. It's a crucible. Each tactic strips weakness, forces growth, and hardens the will. Stop begging. Stop apologizing. Stop explaining yourself. The world doesn't owe you approval. But you owe yourself mastery. Turn rejection into fire. Let every no be the echo that drives your yes. Rejection is not the end of your story. It is the sharpening stone. Every no is a test the universe throws at you to measure your resolve. Will you break under its weight, or will you rise, harder, sharper, untouchable? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If it is endurable, then endure it." Stop complaining. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." And Epictetus, the slave-turned-philosopher, knew rejection more intimately than most, yet he built an empire of thought that still stands today. The truth is simple. The world doesn't care about your wounds, but if you carry them with strength, the world cannot ignore your presence. Rejection is only fuel. Every denial is proof that you dared to step forward. And in daring, you are already ahead of those who hide, who never try, who never face the sting of refusal. So here is your challenge. The next time the door slams in your face, don't collapse. Don't whine. Stand tall. Look at that no and let it light a fire under your feet. Build something undeniable. Forge yourself into someone rejection cannot diminish. If this message strikes you, if you are tired of breaking under life's tests, tired of apologizing, tired of being fragile, then join me. Subscribe to Timeless Stoic Mind. Share this with someone who is wrestling with rejection right now. Comment your last no and what you will do with it. Because rejection is not your enemy, it is your weapon. Wield it.